Recording in progress. Leigh, welcome back to the Granite Zero podcast. For what is this?
Thank you for having me on. How are you, mate?
Is this 4 or 3?
3, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, he's got his hat trick. You don't get a prize.
Hey. Oh, really? I don't even know why I deserved to be on in the first place. So yeah. I must be doing something right.
Mate, I have to say, you are looking
How you been?
Fucking massive.
Yeah, Christmas was cruel.
Like, you're looking hench, though.
No, well, it's a bit of both, if I'm honest.
Bit of both.
Yeah, I'm sat around about 17 stone right now, which is quite heavy for me. So yeah, I'm actually just currently started a diet, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Trying to get down to about 16 stone. Be a
January,
bit more, yeah. Well, I tried to do dry January, but then the rugby match Bristol played yesterday, so yeah, that didn't go well.
Bristol.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends that play for Bristol, so I had to go support them.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah, because I'm actually from Bath, so I actually support Bath, which is a sin to admit to at the moment in this season because they've only won one game the whole of the season, so. A bit ashamed to admit that this year, but
I always had I had a few that I could have chosen, shall we say, because obviously Hereford being where it is, you've got obviously a few of the Welsh clubs that are quite close. Then you've got Gloucester, you've got Worcester.
Yeah,
you know, Bath and that isn't a million miles away. Bristol isn't a million miles away.
If I'm honest, mate, I support rugby. I mean, obviously, I'm from Bath, so
just support rugby.
Just rugby. Yeah, that's it. I
agree.
I'll go watch anything.
I'm more of an international sort of rugby fan, I would say. I prefer watching the internationals than I did ever watching club. I remember the first proper game that I went to go and see was actually Northampton, because we played Northampton schools in a game. My school was a rugby school. We didn't have a football team. It was just rugby. And coming from a football family, it was like, I want to play football. Tommo, you can get on the wing. Okay. That was before I put on some size. And I could actually sprint quite quick. But yeah, we played Northampton, and they somehow the head of PE managed to get some tickets to the Northampton game. Northampton Saints. Can't remember who we played. It was a good game.
Lovely. Well, little secret about me. So when I was a kid, I was like in secondary school playing rugby. I was selected to go and play for county, and I decided to not go because I was more interested in skateboarding and women.
There you go.
Actually, probably
Granite Zero exclusive right
there. May change in hindsight. Now seen as
you know what? Looking at you, I could never have guessed that you were a skateboarder. Right?
Oh man, I was like a fanatical skateboarder for years. Me and my friends, when I was like around the same age, 14, 15, we raised money like through events, car washes, etc., auctions to get a skate park in my local village, which was Stoke St Michael. So that skate park that's there now is because of myself and my friends. So that was my first introduction to
fair play for like that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I was shit. I always wanted to be able to skate or roller skate or anything like that. Even crack on the BMX, but shit. I'm just awful at it.
Mate,
I wasn't bad on a scooter. I could hold my own on a scooter.
Well, they're all the craze right now.
They're electric ones, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, and most board sports. The only one I haven't done is surfing, which is something I'd like to try. But I've done. So I started skateboarding. Then we went to mountain boarding, which is basically a skateboard with little hooks over your feet and big tires. Then I became a wakeboard instructor. And I snowboard as well.
Well, there we go.
And longboarding as well. So yeah, I'm a bit of jack of all trades, master of none. Though that's the problem.
Yeah, I was a bit like that when it came to sports. mainly team sports. So I could hold my own in pretty much any team sport, including basketball. Before anyone goes, Tommo, you're 5'6". There's no way you play basketball. Hey, fucking National League, baby.
You bring this up every time we talk.
I do. It's because it's my complex.
It's a proud moment for you, isn't it? It's a proud moment.
It is. But yeah.
So it should be. So it should be.
But yeah, playing team sports, I always fell back to football because it was like that was the love. The love was in football.
I keep falling back to rugby, to be honest. I still like dip in and out of it. But yeah, I literally.
You are built for rugby, though, aren't you? Look at.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that it does kind of go well for me. Might actually try league this summer. I keep getting asked to go and play rugby league because it's a bit more my style. Very much like run hard, run fast, run straight.
Yeah.
And just big hits. I love putting in a big hit.
Giving and receiving of a big hit is always good.
Yeah.
So
always.
I think that's like the just the side of rugby because it's such a gentleman's sport. But even if you do get absolutely clattered, you're like, fucking good tackle, mate.
Yeah.
Like football, you get up and you go, you fucking cunt, fucking taking me out of that, you fucking. But rugby, you're like, good tackle, mate. I'll get you.
Yeah, that's it. But I mean, it's the same with like. That's why I really like the idea of like rugby because they are gentlemen. It's the same as if you meet. I'm sure like you've had a lot of UFC fighters on, and MMA fighters. They're usually the most humble people because. Oh, yeah. They know. It's like Jordan Peterson, who I'm a massive fan of. He says that you need to be like a monster, but you need to know how to control it. You need to have it under control, and that's exactly how I see that it should be. Because I've met plenty of like MMA fighters. Most of my friends that used to work for me on the doors, borderline professional fighters, and we did some UFC events and stuff, and they're all really lovely because deep down they know. They can fuck you up easily.
Yeah, like it's like that old saying. I think it's Tim Kennedy that said it. You should always be wary of the calmest person in the room when it comes to that sort of stuff. If something's kicking off, you want to be wary of that fucking bloke over there meditating or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you make of that fucking geezer that's popping up on like McDojo and all that? Is it the Detroit Tactical? Bloke.
I don't know. I've not noticed anything.
Mate,
not heard anything.
He is giving out some awful advice when it comes to self-defense.
Oh, really? Well, there's a lot of things like that, and there's a lot of people that do that.
Like
it's dangerous.
Yeah. He's like, this is how you disarm a guy with a shotgun, and he like will grab the barrel of the shotgun, and you're like, what are you doing? You've just been shot 4 times in that drill. Fucking mouth.
There's some idiots online.
There is.
Including us. Look at us.
I'm the biggest idiot, mate. I'm the biggest idiot. I've still got a chimp brain.
I'm a self-professed idiot and moron. But yeah, there's a lot of things where people like, but even if it is good advice, some people still want to bring it down. It's like, I've been told a lot about this. I don't know if you follow a guy called Liver King.
I don't follow him. There's many reasons why I don't.
Okay, well, if anyone who does, basically, he's got a phenomenal physique. He's a monster. He does very like ancestral and primal sort of workouts and eats like raw meat and stuff. And people are just giving him loads of like jip and trying to bring him down. The way I look at it, right? Because a lot of them are saying, oh, he's not telling everyone he's on steroids or whatever, which, do you know what? He may be, right? But my view on this is, right, the guy's got a phenomenal physique. He is trying to get people to do more healthy living, more activity, and he has some great workouts. He has some great ideas for workouts. Nutritionally, I don't really listen to it because it's not something I'd ever do. But all the people that are going, oh, he's on loads of steroids, he's on all this, that. when you're that kind of polarizing character that he is, he's going to have children and young lads looking up to him. It would be irresponsible of him to be promoting the fact that if he did or does do anabolic steroids, you know, and this is the thing, like, people are looking for a reason to bring this guy down.
Yeah,
because
people don't like success. People don't like success.
Exactly.
And yes, he has some far out there views in terms of his supplement use and whatnot. But you know, each to their own. I'm not a huge fan of him. Just because I don't like the fact that he talks about himself in the third person. That is one of the big things.
There is that.
There's those little things that wind me up. It's like just be, but also he's a brand now. He's doing it.
That is exactly my point.
He's selling himself. Good for you. Good for you. Also,
yeah, it's working.
People don't realise, and you'll probably agree with me on this. If he is on steroids, also, so what if he is? He's not hurting anyone.
Exactly. Like,
but you don't just inject yourself in the ass with some steroids and you get an almighty 6-pack like he's got, and a fucking hench.
It takes work.
Like, hard work, mate.
It is. I mean, this. I'm an ex-competitive bodybuilder. I used anabolic steroids. I know what it's like. I did my research. I know what they do. The potential like risks or downfalls. It was part of the process of learning for me. I really enjoyed learning about anabolics and nutrition and things like that. And I still have some stupid knowledge locked away somewhere. But like, the thing is people get this like stigma, or they believe everything that the government's put out about these steroids, that you're gonna have a small penis and you're gonna like have roid rage and like you're just gonna be aggressive, right?
Without even
exactly
it. Not the small penis.
The thing is,
I'm fucking packing, but the rage.
I mean, there's plenty of people that told me that you are a big dick. I don't know if they said you have a big dick.
That's what it is. I am a big. That you got it spot on, Lee.
The thing is, mate, if you've got an aggressive personality, like, I wouldn't suggest you take test, because test is what gives you your GER and your like masculine traits. So why would you need to amplify it, right? But they were produced for athletes. So I mean, they were, that's why scientists made it, to help athletes. Like, and people who think that people in the Olympics and that aren't using them in their off season, they're very mistaken. They're very naive. I really hate the whole subject with Lance Armstrong. What a stud that guy is. I don't like. I don't. What he did wasn't right, but
also
if you actually
the thing with Lance, if anyone's actually watched the documentary, it's not like he was the only one doing it.
Mate, they tested all of them, and it was like the person in 17th place.
Yeah, but fair play
was
to
the first person to not be tested positive. Right?
He doesn't get enough credit. Number 17.
Yeah. Like, in 17th place, all the rest were doing exactly the same. And that quite winds me up, because they just absolutely like hung him out to dry and shot him down. Like, the guy's a stud, whether he did it.
It's a crazy one. I don't know if you're on the same sort of mindset as me on this, but I don't mind them doing it, because obviously they're not hurting anyone. They're all doing it.
I know where you're going with this.
And you want to see them break these fucking records. I want to see Usain Bolt's record get broken in 100 meters.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Like, and powerlifting, things like that, not a problem.
Yeah,
not a problem. Fight sports.
I know where you're going with this.
Different matter. Fight sports are a different matter. But
yeah, I completely agree. However, the only thing I will say is, I do believe that the use of something like human growth hormone, or just TRT dosed testosterone, I don't think that would be an issue in any sport, because testosterone will help you recover.
Yep.
It's a natural like thing.
You
It doesn't.
make it.
Yeah, exactly. Your body makes it, and actually, science shows that most men after the age of like 35, their testosterone levels drop massively, right? So that's why people's metabolism slows down. That's why they become like, there's more issues with depression. They get like slower, like lazy. That's why now TRT, especially in America, is quite a big thing, because these doctors have recognized that people's testosterone drops, and it's not good. It's not healthy, right? Now, the subject you're getting on with the combat sports and, you know, amplifying their performance to hit harder, I completely agree with you. It's dangerous.
That's what
it should be like moderated. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Like, it should be moderated. But
the UFC had for so long, they had the TRT exemption for people that would test low testosterone. However, that then turned a bit into a circus, and you ended up with people like fucking Victor Belfort, who had traps that were coming out of his ears, and you were like, hang on a minute, something's not right there. Then he kicked fucking Michael Bisping's face off and lost his eye and whatnot. But
so I completely agree with you.
But going to your touching on the TRT thing about depression and the low testosterone and things like that, I had a chat with Danny Fitzgerald, who is a boxing coach, and he was talking to me about TRT, because he was saying that perhaps with my depression, I may have had a dip in my testosterone. He said I should have possibly. This is another avenue that you can go down that not many people realize. Like, I could have gone to the doctor and said, "Could you test my testosterone to see if I'm producing enough?" And perhaps I could have had TRT to boost my testosterone, and that could have got me out of my slump. Instead of going, here's some antidepressants, take them. Exactly.
No, I completely agree. Now, what's interesting is the science shows that people that obviously everyone's different with their testosterone levels anyway.
Yeah, of course.
You know, some people have genetically got more testosterone than others, but the people that do hard things, so say someone like myself who has a very physical job, I do stupid things like push myself physically in the gym through strenuous workouts, climbing mountains with weight on my back and stupid shit like that. Those things actually do increase your testosterone levels, and it's the same with MMA fighters. If you actually test an MMA fighter before their fight, right, both competitors, and you test the one who wins and the one who loses, their testosterone the winner would have rose like a significant amount, and the person who loses might have actually dipped. But people that do hard and strenuous things generally produce more testosterone, like, because it signals your body that it needs it. So because my body obviously needs to recover. So
type situation, your body's like, hang on a minute.
You're continually pushing your body, and it needs to recover from these strenuous workouts, work, whatever. That's why your body will continually produce more testosterone. And I think that this may be a reason why men's testosterone levels naturally now are lower than they were, because not so many men are doing the hard physical laborious jobs, because most things are either done by robots, or they're in offices, or they're working from home. You know, they're not having to do these physical jobs of putting a house up or hunting or anything like that. And I think maybe that is one of the, many factors of why, men are struggling in society today, because testosterone is lower. I think it's like 25% than it was like 100 years ago.
It's like that old saying, isn't it? Hard times. Oh, I fucked it already.
Oh,
the hard times build.
So, strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times.
There you go. That's the one. I fucked it. Leigh fucked it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite sayings, because I believe that we're in hard times because we have a plethora of a weak society. I won't just say men. But I think you know, on the whole, humanity is like one of the best and one of the worst times to be alive. You know,
I agree.
It's great because look at I think it was like in 70 or 80 years ago, not even 80 years ago, we didn't even have freezers. Like, and look at where we are now. We have gone. So people like myself that are kids from the 80s, you know, we say that we live in the best age because we got to see a little bit of, you know, the old school.
I agree.
And now we're seeing where we're going. I mean, not that I necessarily agree with a lot of things of where we're going, but it is a great time to realize like the medical progression. You know, I know that it's hard to say this, but we are healthier. We're living much longer. You know, it is a good time. Like, you know, we're not dying from as many diseases and things like that. I mean, it's hard to say that during what's a pandemic. I say that in air quotes just because that's a very touchy subject.
It is, yeah.
But you know, it is a great time to be alive. I think there's a saying that we've got Paleolithic minds, which means we're very like our minds are very moldable, very influential, like advertising, you know, media, etc. We've got ancestral institutions, so like our laws and everything are still from the ages ago, like never changed. Like most of the laws were wrote with a feather by candlelight and they're still the same, you know. And we've got godlike technology, so I believe that we're struggling to adapt to where our technology has gone because it's adapted so fast. You know, we're not adapted to communicate in the way that we are right now, or I don't believe we are. Like, you know, you should be able to sit across from someone, look them in the eyes, hear the empathy or the tone of their voice, you know, be able to read signals, facial reactions. Very rare. This is why I love podcasts, because you get an opportunity to do that. Like, you get to have like a conversation that's usually uninterrupted for a couple of hours, you know, and you get a feel for what someone's actually about. Whereas everything now is so quick. Text, that, like, I'm quite a blunt person by nature, the way that I talk. And if I text, sometimes people think that I have to LOL after most of my messages because I don't want people to think I'm being pissy.
Yes, I have to do the same. LOL, or even with the misses, I'll have to put like a kiss or something at the end. If I don't, it's like, what's the matter with you? So I'm at work.
I know, but we're not designed to communicate so like quickly.
No, we're not.
All through.
No, we're designed to be in
communicating
tribes and
I mean, like we are going to have to adapt, but you know, it is hard for us to catch up and adapt to how quick the technology is improving. And you know, maybe language is going to change. You're going to need to, because when someone's typing something, you can't see any like empathy in their like eyes or their facial expressions.
It's a crazy thing reading a text or an email, because you read it how you're interpreting it. Like you say,
exactly.
Now you could say to me, like, Sean, whatever this fucking sentence is, and I'm like, the fuck's the matter with you? I'm going to email back, and you're going to be like, what's the matter with him? And it's all started because I just read your fucking message wrong.
Exactly. Things can get misinterpreted. So like,
I have it at work. So my line manager, because like yourself, I'm quite blunt, and my emails do come across blunt. I do it on purpose because I want people to know that I'm being serious when I'm sending this fucking message. He had to sit me down and take me through a little lesson on writing emails, and he was like, remember, with the tenants and the client and things like that, you have to be pink and fluffy. I was like, you're telling me I have to be pink and fluffy? He was like, I went, me? And he was like, yeah. And I went, fuck's sake. I went, why can't I just tell them that they're a dickhead? So he's like, well, you can't. I was like, all right.
It's actually funny, like, this actually relates to me even on a face-to-face level, right? So something I've had to adapt about myself, because it took me a long time to realize that I'm quite an intimidating person to meet, due to the fact that I'm 6'1", ex-competitive bodybuilder, like, you know, tall, dark, whatever, and
all dark,
people,
handsome, thighs for days.
I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but like, you know, by image, most people would class me as like a stereotypical sort of alpha-looking male, like, and I didn't realize how intimidating that is to people. So now, because I enjoy connections with people and I enjoy interacting with people and, you know, learning about someone else's life and whatnot, I've had to adapt how I talk to people. Instead of being the blunt, like, just say it as I see it kind of person, I now empathize with how someone might view me. So I now am quite submissive when I meet people, to make them feel comfortable, so they don't see that I'm, because most people that see me think, like, gonna think like, you know, or he's a threat, because we're designed to, like, like, as you and I, both men, we look at another man, we straight away look at him as if, is he going to be a threat, right? It's the same for everyone. And that's why now, because I enjoy these interactions, I have to adapt how I am, because of the fact that I'm, you know, a bigger guy, and I don't want people to see me as a threat, or I'm going to be a dick. I want them to feel comfortable, so that we can actually interact, email. You know, they can't hear the empathy or the understanding, or the you know, the compassion within, like, the words that I'm saying to try and talk to someone. It is very difficult. I really struggle with like, even writing things on social media. I try and be very careful of how I word things, because I can sound so blunt that people think that I'm just being aggressive or whatnot. So it's interesting. Like, it's I'm sure you've come across it.
I get that. Obviously, I don't have the intimidating stature as what you do. So I'm a battle dwarf, so I don't actually. Saying that, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say dwarf. Is dwarf allowed these days?
You know what? I have no idea what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say.
Yeah. Not that we care here on the Granite Zero podcast, but
no, but we also don't want to upset people unnecessarily.
No, we also don't want to upset people, especially those that are close to my height. But yeah, so I've always been in terms of meeting new people. I'm quite an introvert. Most people don't believe me when I say that. They're like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, I am. Until you know me, I don't really come out of my shell. Like, when I first started the podcast, it was hard to. I used to get all sorts of anxiety going on. Like, before I'd come down to the shed and go, right, let's finally have a chat, press record. Before I'd be pacing in the house, I'd be getting like worked up. She's like, and the missus is like, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know if it's going to go well. I don't know if I'm going to come out my shell. But now I'm sort of more relaxed, because I've done, well, this will be 126.
Well, congratulations to you for that. That's impressive.
Thank you very much. But yeah, okay, I've always been quite shy in terms of meeting new people. Like, when I went on the Inner Armour course, I was quite in my shell. I'd be on my phone just flicking through Instagram for no reason. I'd already been through, like, I already completed Instagram, but I'll still fucking scroll through. It's like, I don't want these other fucking military blokes to come and have a chat with me, because it's like there's like one bloke with a fucking MBE that led the charge in fucking Iraq in 2003 and all this, and I'm like, oh, they've done bits, and I'm sort of soppy bollocks over it. It's got fucking depression and etc.
But do you know what the thing is that, and that is in your own head.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
This is the thing, and actually that's the same as how I was like, I would not make an effort with someone unless they made an effort with me, or I wouldn't really like be forthcoming in a conversation until my friendships or my opportunity for friendships or even just conversations, because but it was my issue. And now that I know that I enjoy these conversations, it's something that I had to change. And you know, and I was exactly the same as you. Like, I was introverted. It's like, even now, like, I don't want to be center of attention, like, which I know seems very strange for someone that has Instagram like I do and whatnot. Like, I don't want to be I want all the people around me to be successful. I want to help the people around me to be better. And that's actually why I believe that, like, that's how I believe a leader should be. I believe that if you want to be a leader of a team or anything like that, then success shouldn't be what you're looking for yourself. If you want the limelight, leadership is not for you. In my personal, I believe to be a leader, you need to create a successful environment for everybody else, and develop those and the success should come from your team or your, like, individual members, you know, having success. But at the same time, you need to have the ownership, the humbleness, and the respect to, if something goes wrong, first and foremost, it's on you. Like, that's what a leader should be, you know.
Totally agree. I do it at work. I actively want my officers to be the best that they can be around me. And if they've fucked up for whatever reason, I'm the first one to say, no, that's on us, that's on me. Like, yes, I might go back and give them a bit of a fucking chewing for fucking up, but at the end of the day, as I was always taught, is a bit more of a sort of a military thing. Shit rolls downhill. So I'm gonna take the bollocking first. I'll take it and say, no, that's my fault. They're my officers. I've trained them. Once they're fucking out of the way, hey, dickhead, come on. Do you need to do a bit more training? Do you need to do a bit more of this? Because what they're doing,
how can I help you to make this not happen again? And that's exactly what I mean. It's about having that, like, Jocko talks about it massively, you know, extreme ownership. It's owning.
I like Jocko. Jocko.
Yeah, mate, what a savage.
Unreal.
What an intelligent gentleman as well. Like,
it's a complete opposite to my predecessor at work. I remember I messed up once. I didn't unlock a building for a viewing or something fucking pish like that. It was something, and he got a chewing, right? But instead of him taking the chewing and then calling me in and saying, what happened, how can we move on from this, and so it doesn't happen again, he told me that I had to phone the person up, apologize, and say it was me. He was like, all my fault. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I thought we were one team. But yeah, he no longer works there.
Well, you know, that speaks for itself. You know, it's I have this massive belief that actually so many of the issues in society today are all surrounded by insecurity. Like, I believe that insecurity is the base of most society's problems. And you know, most people say that the ego is the enemy, and I really don't think that that's the case, because, you know, ego, for me, I believe that ego is a defense mechanism for insecurity. So if I was to say something to you that, say, would upset you, I don't know, like, say, we'll use your short example. Say I called you short, right?
Fucking rude.
And
Carry on.
Yeah, exactly. But say that was something that was an insecurity or an anxiety of you. You would potentially come back to that with, like, an egotistical, like, response, right? Or an aggressive response, because that's an emotional defense mechanism, because it's something that triggered an insecurity, or, you know, it's upset you or whatever. Which, if I was to do that, it's actually a reflection of the person I am, because as someone that now is very, like, happy and content with the person I am, I have no reason to put anyone else down. I mean, if you do something stupid, I'll tell you the truth. I've got no reason to put you down, because actually I'm contented myself, so I don't need to put you down. I want you to be better and be the best version of yourself. And if I can help you do that, then, you know, more power to you. But people will tell you that ego is the enemy.
Yeah.
But if we didn't have ego, we would not have Teslas that now do 0 to 60 in like 1.9 seconds. We would not have Olympic records broken. Ego is what drives some of our best attributes and some of our worst attributes. And it's actually something that I'm hugely passionate about, and what I want to try and achieve eventually is I want people to become more emotionally intelligent. And I think it's something that we should be talking about a lot in society today, because I don't think people know how to deal or manage or recognize or be honest with themselves about their emotions and how to use them as tools, or, you know, because
I agree.
Everyone's looking for, they say, happiness. Happiness is a fleeting emotion. It's the same as anger. It's the same as sadness. It's the same as jealousy. All these things are very fleeting, right? And I don't think you should be looking for happiness, because it's such a short-lived thing. And it's like people that take drugs. It's why? Because it gives them a high, but then they have a massive crash. And that's why I don't believe it should be happiness that you're chasing. It should be contentment. So you should be looking for like a, you know, a nice level sort of playing field where you have a little bit of happiness and then you have a little bit of hardship, etc., rather than these massive highs, massive lows, you know. But it's actually,
I agree. And like you said, a lot of people aren't in touch with their emotions anymore.
well, we're not taught to. Like,
yes, you're not. No. However,
like
at the minute, my eldest, especially my eldest, at their school, that they are starting to teach them different things. I know that she went through a stage of learning a lot about mental health, and they were using the analogy of Winnie the Pooh, because each cat, that I don't know if this is complete gen or if it's something that the person taking the lecture was using as an example, was the characters in Winnie the Pooh are all different states of mental health, like sort of issues. You've got Winnie the Pooh himself, who's an overeater. Piglet, very shy, very anxious. Tigger, ADHD. Eeyore, depression, etc. And they were using these examples, and my daughter came home and she was telling me about them, and I was like, wow. I went, when I was at school, I never got anything like that. I was like, I'm actually quite happy that they're doing that. And that's one of the things that eventually, whether it's this year, next year, the year after, I want to start getting into more, going into schools and started doing different lectures. I saw a friend of mine, Matt Creel, who is the CEO of Tidy Butt, which is a mental health charity in Wales. I've actually got Reese Thomas, who's his counterpart, coming on the show on Tuesday, and they go into schools, and it's like, that's where we need to start, is in schools, teaching kids.
Exactly what I'm trying to establish on how I'm going to do it myself. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about, is how to get into schools and do these discussions on emotional intelligence,
totally agree.
Self-awareness, because I think, like I said earlier, like, we're not adapting as well as we think to, like, you know, the stupid, insane speed that technology is growing, you know, and it is having a massive detrimental
effect. And like you said as well, everything is quick now as well. Like, even down to the things that we're watching, kids are watching, TikTok, Reels, Shorts on YouTube. They're all like 30 seconds long, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Next one. Oh, it's a girl shaking her ass. Oh, cool.
Yeah, it is, and it's attention span.
They've gone from taking photos on Instagram to now TikToking dance moves. Yeah,
and it's, you know, it's
a very strange, here's one for you.
Very strange time.
Here's one for you. I don't know if you know this. If you watch a movie, and the way movies now will take, for example, Spider-Man or the Avengers or something like that, each frame is literally 4 seconds. So it'll be what 1, 2, 3, 4, quick changed angles or whatever. It's because it needs to be like that. Otherwise, people are like, "This is a fucking long, boring scene."
Yeah,
it's mad. I was watching one the other day, and I was like, "This is change. Like everything's changing so quick." And then you watch a movie like 1917, and you're like, "That's just one long shot. That's brilliant."
I mean, that film in itself was incredible. And how they did it was, it was insane. What a film. Do you know what? It's funny. It's because our attention spans have changed. Like you said, everything's so quick.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, when I was a kid, I think it was a Sega Mega Drive, right? And I used to be able to, on a Sunday night, if I'd been good all week, I'd get to play on my Sega Mega Drive on Sonic or something like that for like an hour on a Sunday night, and that would be a joy to me. That would be a pleasure. Now, kids have got iPhones, they've got everything that they want, they've got everything at the touch of their hands and the buttons. It's a very different world, and like I said, I don't think we're adapting that well to it at the moment. But it's just so quick.
I think also the like you said, the plethora of information that is out there on the internet now.
Yeah.
But it's also sort of run by your algorithms yourself. So, say for example, you're an anti-vaxxer. We'll use that as an example, and you type in something about the vaccine.
Yeah.
More than likely, you're going to get something that will go to the things that you've been searching already.
Yeah, it's like that documentary. What was it? The social media one.
Social Dilemma.
Yeah, that's it. Like it shows the algorithm actually how they work. Is they send you the stuff that you're going to be more upset about because they know that is the things that people respond to the most. Yes. Because, I mean, again, it's we're all flawed by just even within our makeup or whatever, but the things that upset us are that if I gave you 10 compliments, right, throughout the show, said you're good looking, you're a really nice guy, etc. But then I said that something derogatory or nasty towards you, that would be the one thing that you remember, as opposed to all the compliments.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we are wired to see the negative rather than the positive. And what I think, like I said, again, it's down to this learning about your emotions, being more self-aware, because, for example, I'm very content with the man I am now. I'm very happy with my morals. I still have flaws, but I'm happy with the person I am, right? So that means that it doesn't matter to me if someone likes me or not. I'm a very reasonable person. I'm a very reasonable person. Someone can change my mind about something. I'm very open to debates and talking about things that we disagree on. That's great. It's fine. But that's because I'm content in who I am. So no one can really hurt me because I know my flaws. If someone says to me, you're a bit, self-absorbed, I can be like, do you know what? You're right. I can be, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Right. But that is coming from someone that's extremely secure with who they are. Now, if I was to insult you, like I said earlier, that's a reflection on them or how they view you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that, again, through self-awareness, through being honest with yourself and learning about your good points and your bad points, you can become content and happy with who you are. And that is something I believe everyone deserves.
It's a lot of work, but at the end of the day, what thing is better out there than to make better than yourself?
Well, I think it was the Stoics that said, I think it was wasn't Epictetus, it was Aurelius, I think it was, who said that it's every person's duty to be the best version of themselves that they can be. This is our own lives.
He's living the dream.
I know. I'm living cliche. That's what it is.
No, it's good. You're right. You're right. It took me ages to not read comments, not engage with other trolls, not look for things that annoy me on Instagram, because they do. There's so much stuff that annoys me.
I think one of the things that I like, do you think that The Rock ever sits down and reads his comments?
Oh, no.
Like,
definitely not.
Exactly. Why? Because he has too much time. He doesn't have time to do something like that, right? That guy's happy as fuck. Like I said,
you don't care.
No matter what you do, someone will always find a reason to put you down. And like I said, that's a reflection on them. It's like,
yeah, there's a big thing at the minute now with Dan Brazilian or whatever his name is. He's come out and went, the Rock's not real. It's like, no shit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he's got a better body now in his 50s than he did in his 40s and his 30s, but he's also working like a fucking racehorse.
And he's inspirational. Like, he was one of the first people that I ever heard say, like, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And he is a walking example of that, because anyone that speaks of him that actually knows him in person says what a lovely guy he is and what a hard worker he is.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like I said, you always get people that want to just bring you down. Always do. But like, even fucking Rogan at the minute, apparently medical professionals are trying to get Joe Rogan fucking cancelled off Spotify. It's like, good luck with that. It's
good luck with that one.
Because people haven't tried to do that already. It's like, just because he's actually given proper journalistic knowledge and actually having...
Well, the thing is, like this, but, well, I'm sure you know, obviously he got COVID, didn't he? Right?
Yes, he did, yeah.
So Joe Rogan got COVID and he came out saying, we chucked the kitchen sink at it, right? So he described how they used monoclonal antibodies, they used ivermectin.
Yeah, that's the one.
Now, ivermectin, we used it on, we have sheep, right? Like the people that I work with, they've got sheep. Ivermectin you spray it on them and they won't get fly strike for like 6 months or a year. Very powerful drug, right?
Yeah.
It's also used for parasite diseases and stuff in humans, and it was given a Nobel Prize for its work.
They also did it for malaria.
Billions of studies on how safe it is, etc. CNN reported saying that Joe Rogan takes horse tranquilizer for COVID.
Yeah.
Right? That is the sort of shit that the media are coming out with now, right? And it is absolutely diabolical.
Clutching at straws.
Again, like we said, we're all wired to look at the negative. Why do you think all the headlines are, negative? Like, do you know what? I think I said this to you last time. The media doesn't give you the full story. It's for clickbait, because now we can get information so quick. Twitter's usually quicker than the news. So you can find out something on Twitter almost instantly, or someone's videoed it and uploaded it and it goes viral. So the news isn't so significant like it used to be.
I've generally stopped listening to the news or stopped watching the news, like, for the last, I couldn't even tell you when. Like,
the thing is, the media's owned. It's owned by like billionaires. Like, so it's not objective.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that's why they don't like Rogan.
No, they're not giving you the facts. They are giving you what they've been told to say, or they're giving you a version or an angle. Like, it can be even political or whatever. Like, they're not just giving you the facts, and they're giving you the worst story and headlines. Like, I don't care who Kim Kardashian's fucking. I don't care which Love Island stars like cheated on someone or anything like that. I want to know something good. I want to know like about the scientists that have developed vaccine that cures something. Like, I want to know good information, not useless garbage or fake stuff. It's like this whole pandemic has just been just insurmountable amount of misinformation, scaremongering, and it's just brainwashing people to be so divided.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's what they also want is for people to be divided, because obviously, like you said, people will then go into that mode. Oh, I'm part of the vaccine tribe. I now no longer like anti-vaxxers.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, mate, like, never in the history of pandemics have we ever been forced to take something.
No, correct.
Right?
Correct.
Like, have our liberties taken away from us to take a drug that we don't have, that has been like fast tracked through all the usual requirements.
Yep.
And you know, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, right? I'm not. I haven't been vaccinated. My reasons are I don't think I need it. I had COVID. I got over COVID very quickly. I believe I only had COVID because I didn't sleep for 3 days because I was on a massive party weekend. My girlfriend had come in contact with somebody who had COVID, and we both got it. I was ill for like literally a couple of days, heat sweats, very fatigued, and then I was over it. Right now, the science shows that if you've had COVID, the antibodies are like, I think it's like 13 times stronger than any of the vaccines and the booster.
Correct.
So why would I then need to take the vaccine now?
Exactly.
If the vaccine was proven to stop transmission to other people, I would completely understand, and I would take it for the sake of other people, right? Now, there is proof that it slows down transmission for a couple of weeks, but that's it. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you are still equally as likely to transmit COVID, right? So, like I said, if you want to get the vaccine, that's entirely your choice. I have no qualms about it.
That's the big thing, what you just said there.
If you don't want to take the vaccine,
choice.
I also don't have any like qualms about it. Entirely your choice. What I don't agree with is when people again, it's down to how the media's presented it and how they've made us so divisive, and
I agree.
How they've told people people are scared of each other.
Yeah.
You know, and they get angry. Like, you know, some poor, family that has listened to the media and thinks that masks and being vaccinated is the only way that you're going to be safe. See someone like myself, and I let them know that I'm not vaccinated, they're going to be angry because they're thinking that I'm going to be putting other people at risk.
You're putting everyone at risk. It's all your fault. People
exactly.
Like you. But
exactly.
I totally agree, Leigh, on that. Like, I've had the vaccine, but I haven't had COVID. I'm 2 years undefeated. So I'm
good for you.
I'm fucking living the dream. But I got it. Me and my missus had a chat about it. I was like, I'm not 100% sure on it, but I'm willing to take it. I haven't had it, so if it stops me from getting it, all good. But if I was like you, for example, who had it, and I've listened to the doctors that have been on Joe Rogan, I've done research, I know that the antibodies are far better if you've had it. Then I wouldn't have had it. For example, they were saying that they're going to start doing it for kids and whatnot. I went, well, my eldest isn't has it. Jess isn't having it. She was like, why not? I went, her antibodies are fucking incredible. She went, why? I went, she's had the fucking COVID. She's had it. But I've had a close friend of mine. She's an anti-vaxxer for it, but she's also sort of and ahhing. I was like, well, it's your decision. I was like, it's nothing I'm going to say is going to change your mind because you don't want it. I went, that's your decision. I went, you're still my mate. I went, I'm not going to stop you coming around because you haven't had a fucking vaccine.
Sure, it's really sad. Some of our friends were uninvited to weddings because they weren't vaccinated. Really? Yeah, and they were like family members, and I think it's really upsetting that people are doing that. And like we said, I don't care if you're vaccinated or not. Like, it's entirely up to you, and that's how it should be. I can understand why people are so upset and scared because of how they've portrayed it in the media.
Yeah, I agree. My missus is fucking petrified of it. Even now,
Yeah.
like she's like she's had a bit of a cold recently. She was like, "Oh, I better test." It's like, when would you have ever done that before? I know we sort of kind of have to now, just in case you're spreading it. It's like, you're
the way
unwell.
I see it,
if you're unwell, fucking stay at home and be unwell.
Yeah, the way I see it is like, how often do we test for the flu, right?
Yeah.
The flu kills like thousands of people a year, including children, right?
Apart
If
from
you tested
2020,
people,
wasn't it? Yeah. 2020 was none, apparently.
Yeah, there was zero, absolutely none. We've absolutely like smashed the common cold, flu, cancer, like those are things like, you know, gone. We should celebrate it. But you know, if you tested any given year before this pandemic, right, for people with the flu, you would have probably tens of thousands of cases, because there'll be some people that have got it and are fine. There'll be some people that have got it and are a bit ill. There'll be some people that get really ill from it, and there'll be some people that die from it. But like, that's no different than COVID. If you're going to go and test everyone, if you're testing people willy-nilly, you're going to see a rise in cases. You're going to see a huge amount of numbers, because this virus, we know now that it is equally, like, it's very transmissible. It's like, it spreads very easily, you know,
and mutates so fast.
Like, what is the newest one? Like moronic with Omicron, but it's an anagram for moronic. Like, I fucking love that. It's so funny, right? One funny thing that I find hilarious is, if I had said 6 months ago or 8 months ago that I believe this virus came from a lab, right? If I said that, I would be called a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I would be called crazy. I'd probably be silenced on social media. You type into YouTube and put in what happened in Wuhan. There's a documentary by Sky Australia. Sky, like, massive media outlet. They have they've got a documentary on how the virus actually came about and where it originated from, right?
Wasn't
also,
fucking about then?
No, it was from there was a lab that was created.
You mean the big giant lab in Wuhan that deals with deadly viruses?
On the same street that the wet market was, and they were working on coronaviruses, but it's more likely that it came from a bat on a wet market. Again,
definitely
doesn't
more
make
likely.
sense, but it is now a documentary that even the WHO, they put together a team of people that were to try and find the source of the virus. They've categorically said 95% sure that it could not have come from anywhere but that lab. That is the WHO. That is their own, like, task force that they set aside to it. But if I had said that a few months ago, even now, if I say it to someone, they think I was just being a conspiracy theorist. But honestly, if you think about it logically, what would you believe more? Someone ate from a wet market and that virus transmitted, because it takes like thousands of years for something to come from animals to humans, because there's a massive for like CWD, which is chronic wasting disease, that I think it affects like deer and game animals in America, and they're worried, like they were about mad cow disease in the UK. Like, if that ever transmitted into humans, it'd be devastating, because it just eats them up from the inside out. It's horrible. They turn into like zombies.
Yeah. Oh, love it. Zombie apocalypse. Woo!
Oh, I
but
quite like.
Yeah, it's mad though, because they, with that wet market, it's like, hang on, it's fucking disgusting. It is disgusting. There's fucking rats and bats and all sorts in cages and whatnot. Yes, viruses and diseases probably could spread quite easily, but also that's been there for forever.
Yeah. And on the same street, there is a lab a level 4 lab.
It's like they turned up and
corona.
went, they were walking through, where's this fucking virus come from? Oh, we'll ignore that. We'll ignore that massive lab that says deadly viruses like on the door. That fucking fucking bat stall. Fucking that's where it came from.
Yeah. I will leave you to watch the documentary to find out the facts. And it's
I love a documentary.
Very interesting. It's very interesting. You know, again, can't completely trust everything because, you know, unfortunately, most people now, they don't read past the headline. They don't question anything. You know, if they just see a meme or something on social media and take it as gospel. I love a meme. I do love a meme. But no fact checks anything. Like this whole pandemic, if you actually looked on the government website, like, you know, the ONS government website for the amount of deaths over like the last 10 years, it would make you think differently to the whole pandemic if you just went on their website and looked through the numbers. But people do not want to read past the headline. They want their fucking information quick.
Yeah.
They don't read. They want a quick fix. It's like they want, like, anyone within the fitness industry is like abs in 6 weeks, or, you know, everyone wants a quick fix or a pill or something. Like,
I agree with that one as well.
It's like before we digressed onto this is the subject that we got into. It's like we are now so like spoiled with things like, I don't watch TV anymore, really. Why not? Because I don't want to see a fucking advert, right? Because I watch Netflix because I have uninterrupted TV. I'll go and watch a series where I can watch the whole episode with no interruptions because I am spoiled. Because Netflix. I want
to watch more than one, I'll watch more than one.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, we're impatient because of that. Yeah. I will not watch a TV program now.
Even to that point, I literally got the premium Spotify because I didn't want fucking adverts.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of the best things that you could ever buy though for music. Like best month I spend. Yeah, between Audible, which is because I don't have time to sit down and read. I listen to Audible audiobooks.
It's literally one of my my resolutions was actually, I'm not a big fan of resolutions, new year, new me stuff, but it's come from my eldest again, because she's a proper bookworm. She loves reading a book.
Yeah,
she literally will read a book like for fun, and I'm like,
yeah,
is there a movie about it? Because I'd rather watch the movie. But then I was like, I've sort of lost that. Like as a kid, you'd have to read as homework, you'd read at school. It's like now I'm like, fucking read. Like this comes from a guy that wrote a book. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, I can't be asked. I can't be asked to read. But I've started to, and as controversial as he is, and as hated in some circles as he is, I'm reading Anne Middleton's new book, his mindset one. And I'm like, there's some fucking decent stuff in here. Yes, he bangs on about military stuff a bit too much at the beginning, but I'm like, some certain things that he says about building a better mindset and there's a bit, I should have brought it down with me. There's a bit about anxiety that you had as a kid, because you always think that race is the last race that you're going to have, and if you've not done well in it and you've lost it, it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
And it goes on like how to deal with that sort of thing. And I literally read that to my eldest the other day, because she was getting worked up that she's got her SATs coming up. She's starting to flap a bit, because anytime you say there's a test, her anxiety goes through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
And I was trying to calm her down, like, take small steps. You take the steps that you can see in front of you. Don't go too far ahead, because then you get lost. And she's like, oh, okay. And then I read her that passage, and she was like, oh, that sort of makes sense. And I was like, yeah, fucking does.
I'm Ant Middleton is someone I've read. I've just literally I pre-ordered that book that you're talking about, is sat in my audio library to listen to. I haven't yet, because I don't have time. Like I said, I don't have time to sit and read. So, and I ingest audio much better than.
Yes, I do. If I'm honest, I'll probably be better off getting Audible.
Yeah, I mean it's fantastic because I can go through books while I'm at work, which is great. And I think I'm the same as you, really. I don't really agree with, or not. I don't agree with. I'm not a big fan of New Year's like resolutions, right?
Yeah.
I usually have like one or two, which are like fundamental to the person I am. So it's like this year, I'm back to being, because I had a bit of a bad year last year. Like I wasn't very productive, or
Like, well, we didn't really speak much, and I was like, so I think I sent you a message. I was like, is everything all right? I'm really
I mean, we can talk. We can talk about that in a minute, like for sure. Like I'm happy to explain that I had a bit of a tough year, but this year with my resolutions were literally like to be that one is my fundamental rule is to try and be the best version of me I can be, and the second was that I want to build a better life for what I now class as my family, which is because obviously I don't know if you've seen, or you have seen. Me and my missus have just got a puppy, and he is my fucking work. So I like that gave me a completely different view, and I wanted to build like a better like standard of life for all of us. Which whereas before I was quite self-absorbed in the sense that like I was always chasing my hobbies and what I wanted to do, and like I'm still going to do that, but I'm also going to incorporate the fact that I now have her and my my little boy, my dog, to like look after as well.
You've got the dog of mischief.
He is the dog of mischief. He really is.
He's fucking brilliant, mate.
Also taken over the handsome title in this household because he is one handsome little bugger.
That he is a handsome pup, mate. He's lovely. As soon as I saw that you had it, I was like, oh, he's mega. What a mega dog.
Yeah, he's lush, mate. He can put a smile on your face at any point. I mean, he can piss you off too, because he's pissed on.
Yeah, but I'm sure he does piss you off, but then he'll probably give you that look, and you're like, I can't stay mad at you.
Yeah. No, that is exactly it.
Right, in terms of animal to human ratio, that's like my youngest. So my youngest has got the world's biggest eyes. Like I literally call her Puss in Boots at times because like if she wants something or she's in trouble, I always say to my missus, when I can't look at her, because she'll make her eyes ginormous, and then I'm fucking Mr. Softy.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I'm exactly the same. I'm a massive softy. That's my.
We're chick flick men. Love a chick flick.
Yeah. Oh, I love a chick flick. But going back to Ant Middleton, I've read all of his books, and him and I have a very, very similar sort of mindset and outlook on a lot of things. I do believe that his ego is slightly more borderline arrogant at times, but if I'm honest, he's also like a lot of the times he's just talking factually, and what he has achieved and what he has done is truly fucking impressive. And yes, he's also made mistakes and he owns them. If you go back and read his first book and his second book, I genuinely would recommend everyone to read those two, because like I said, he basically I think it was his first one. Like I said, him and I have a very similar mindset. We align on a lot of the way that we think, or like the way that like we are. And he actually put things like it was reassuring to hear that the things that I thought myself were something that he thought as well. So I wasn't sort of like just thinking bollocks, you know what I mean? It was sort of, but what a guy, and again, like we said earlier, it doesn't matter how good you are, someone will always try and put you down. he's a perfect example of that, because he's made some mistakes. He hit a copper, like, and he admits it, and he did his time, and he suffered for it. And you know, I commend a guy like that. You know, we all have those times. Like I said, like on the most part, if you talk to any of my friends, I'm an okay guy. I'm pretty like decent. I'm pretty loyal, pretty reliable. You know, I'll always try and help wherever I can, whether you're a friend or not. But last year, I wasn't 100% me. Like a lot of things sort of happened that caused me to lose like my confidence and my desire to chase things. And I just became like a lesser version of myself. And I did some things that were not reminiscent of who I am normally. So I was like unreliable to people that I would never really let down. Not in like a really bad way, just lazy. I was lazy for a year. Like I didn't train as much. I didn't work as much. You know, I was not the best version of myself. And it wasn't so much that I struggled. It wasn't like mental health issues. I just had like you said, shit rolls downhill. I had a lot of shit things happen consistently for a long period of time that caused a lot like me to use methods of escapism, or try to resolve issues by escapism, or like trying to be very social. Like I spent a lot of my time like socializing and like communicating with people, and that was what I enjoyed doing, rather than chasing my goals or being concerned with like myself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I have this like this quality, which is probably a positive thing and a negative thing. There are times when I can put other people in front of myself, and when I do that, it can become detrimental to me.
Yes.
Like, and I don't recognize it. That is one of my massive faults. I don't recognize it until it's too late.
Yep.
My
wife is exactly the same.
When I'm at my best is when I'm focusing on me, because when I'm at my best, actually, that then encourages the other people around me to be better.
Yeah.
And actually, that's when I can be more helpful to them by being me, as opposed to me trying to help other people actively.
Yeah. So my missus is very much like that, and she doesn't take what I say on board in terms of, similar to you, work on yourself, and then everything else will sort of fall into place. She very much likes to. She's a mother. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Not only is she a mother to my kids, but to other people. She's always the first person that anyone with any fucking dramas, they'll go, "Oh, Kate will help me." It's like, sometimes I just want, will you fuck off with your problems for a second? She's got her own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, I do.
She battles with anxiety daily, whether it's getting herself ready to go into. Bearing in mind, she's been doing the same job now. It's coming up 17 years. She's a hairdresser, but every fucking time she's going into work to battle to get herself in the right. When she's there, she's fucking golden. But the fucking anxiety takes hold, and it's like, whoa, chill, fucking one step at a time. That's where my eldest gets it from, the anxiety. You got to work on yourself, and sometimes it's difficult, because you do think that you're being selfish. You're like, it's like someone will send you a message. Do you mind helping me out? It's like, sorry, I'm trying to focus on myself today. It's like, oh, all right, cheers, selfish. It's like, well, no. If I'm not at my best, I'm not going to give you the best version of myself, and it's just gonna, shit rolls downhill, and it does snowball effect.
Yeah, it's funny, because the thing is also like I'm very when I'm being me, I'm very driven, I'm very proactive, I'm very like I don't really stop, and like my missus said, oh, I can tell that you're back to your being you, because she goes, you make everyone else look lazy. Like, she goes, you just make people look lazy because you do so much and you make it look like effortless. And sometimes that can be a negative thing, because I actually expect, sometimes, again, another fault of mine that I'm very aware of is I have a habit of like, in the way that I don't ever think that I'm anything like special or anything. I always think that some things that I find easy, maybe I expect too much of other people, because I don't appreciate maybe the abilities or the things that I've done or do that have meant I have this like work ethic that I do. And sometimes I can expect too much of other people, because they're not everyone's the same. Not everyone has the same drive or work ethic or like proactiveness, and that's something I've had to learn and be mindful of, because part of me is I'm very proactive and I will go after things wholeheartedly, and not everyone has that same drive, and that's okay. And I had to learn that, you know, that's okay, and some people are like that, and that's just what makes them happy. And what the thing that makes me the best version of me is focusing on myself and making myself happy first, and then incidentally that is what actually is helpful to my friends. You know, because that's why they respect me the way that they do.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, it's same with like your missus. I'm sure that she sounds like someone that puts in quite a lot of effort for other people.
Oh yeah, I've told her so many times that she puts too much effort in to people.
Yeah, that
because
is
she'll put the effort into people that don't deserve it either.
Yeah,
and
I mean, the thing is also that can be really hard for her, because not everyone will make the same effort back, and don't. That can actually that can be upsetting.
It happened to her a couple of times with some, we'll call them friends.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I went, they're not your friend. And she was like, but they are. It's one of those. Oh, they are. They're in my contacts. Yeah, they're not your friends. But if they were your friends, they would make the effort to see if you're okay from time to time, and not just suck all the life out of you. I went,
Jay Morton.
I said, this is going to sound really harsh, and you probably won't like me saying it. I went, but the best thing that you could probably do is cut them out. Block them, 100%. Get rid of them. And she's like, I don't know if I went, I've done it. I did it with friends from the military that I thought were my friends. And then it was only when I released the book and things like that that I was like, oh, you're not my friend. Yeah. One of them happened to come to my wedding, was part of my guard of honor for when I walked down the aisle and things like that. It's like, you're not my friend.
Yeah. I mean, it is upsetting, because I'm quite similar to your partner in the sense that I put in like quite a lot of effort for friends. Like, I will arrange things for us to do as like couples, or like I'll make effort to see my friends, like, because I think we should all be sociable. Like, we're designed to be sociable. I'd rather see someone. I don't really text people anymore. I don't, like, well, you know, when you message me, sometimes I don't reply maybe like for a day or two, because I dislike being on my phone and texting and that kind of communication.
Well, if you want to talk to you on that, I'm too much on my phone, if anything.
Yeah, if one of my mates wants to talk to me, now most of them, like my really close mates, I tell them to like FaceTime me or call me, because I'd much rather have a conversation, you know. But I put in a lot of effort to organize things that we all get together. And if for a long time I used to get upset that other people wouldn't do the same, like, or make the effort to see me or do things like that. And it was another thing that I had to realize, that some people aren't like that. They don't need to be as social, or they don't necessarily, like my partner, one of the most lovely people on the planet, right? But she's not very proactive. like, you know, she and I've had to realize that's just part of who she is, and like, you know, and that's fine. I'm better at organizing stuff for us to do rather than her doing it, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't get upset by it anymore, because they've proved, my friends have proved their worth. When I've needed them, they've been there.
Yeah. True friends.
Exactly. And you've got to be honest with your friends. Like, I think I see like friendships and relationships, I've been with my partner 3.5, 4 years, I don't know. It's been long enough that I just can't remember.
Yeah.
And I've been talking to a lot of my like female friends and some of my male friends that are obviously single and dating and whatnot, and it's made me reflect on our relationship. And like, I'm quite an unconventional person anyway, which I'm sure you can gather. I'm not like most people. I'm very strong-minded, and I think differently to a lot of people, and I do things that a lot of other people wouldn't see normal. Like, but my girlfriend has had to adapt to the person that I've grown into as well, and she's done a tremendous job of adapting to the fact that, like, I need social interactions with people, right? So that means that, like, I'm very content and very happy in my relationship, and I'm very loyal, and I would never like detract from that, because I'm a very proud person, and like I said, I'm very strong-willed in that sense. And so to me, I enjoy interactions and communications with people. Like, as I become more emotionally intelligent, I love hearing other people's stories. I love like interacting, seeing what makes them tick, what scares them, what's happened in their life to make them the person they are. So to me, it doesn't matter if I'm talking to a male or a female. Like, I just enjoy these connections. I actually usually find that females have got more emotional intelligence than guys, and they're more willing to talk about like difficult subjects.
Yep.
My girlfriend has had to adapt to the fact that I have friends that are like female that I talk to on a, not like a very regular basis, but like, once every 2 weeks or whatever, and we have like a long chat or a FaceTime or whatever. Now she gets, her friends don't think that that's right, and they think that's unacceptable, and they would never allow that. So she gets shit from her friends.
Yeah.
Now, that's because they said they could never say that, but that to me is not trusting their partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that is not trust, that's insecurity.
Yeah.
And like I said, fair play to her. She's, my girlfriend's, I mean, we still have to work it, and we have to be very honest and communicate all the time, like any relationship. But, I don't think society is right in that way, in the sense that, men and women should be able to have friends, even if you're in a committed relationship, as long as you're respectful and obviously, like, because why would you want to, like, we have like what we class as like a long life, but it's a very short time in the grand scheme of things. Why would you want to like halt yourself or limit yourself to interactions and connections and communicating with other people just because they're of the opposite sex?
Yeah.
Like, you're limiting your ability to grow or learn, or, and to me, that is a massive thing in society I disagree with, because it's a massive trust issue. Now, that might be because some guys are idiots and they cheat on their partners. We all know people like that. I don't agree with that. But if you don't trust your partner to be respectful of your relationship, you shouldn't be with that person.
Yeah,
period.
Exactly.
The same with friends, like, same as you. I had friends that actually were narcissistic and insecure. They would never, like, they would always put me down, would never want to see me succeed. Like, they want you to do so well, but not better than them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So actually, it held me back. It made me feel like I couldn't be the best version of me, because I never wanted to like shine, because I knew that it would just get beaten down. Yeah. I had to cut those people off, because I'm not a competitive person, which is actually probably a flaw as well as a positive thing, because I could probably be better at other things if I was more competitive.
I get that. Yeah.
The only person I actually ever want to be better than is myself. And like, even in rugby, I'm not bothered if someone's better than me, or like bodybuilding, I didn't care. I'm quite laid back.
someone wants to be better than me, crack on, mate. Like, I'll help you do it if you want. Like, but I want people around me to be successful, and I want to be the best version of me, right? And I'm helping them to get to that. But if other people don't want that, or like they hold you back from that, fucking cut them off. Jay Morton puts it in a really good way. He says, you got people that are drains, people that are radiators. There are some people that just drain you, like you sounds like your partner's friends. They just take energy away from you. They just drain it out of you.
Yeah.
And then there's other people. I've got like a couple of friends that when I'm around them, they make me want to be a better version of me. They make me want to be a better person. So I look at who they are and I'm like, wow, you know, you're really like admirable in the way that you do this, or the way that you handle your job, or the way that you treat your partner or your family, you know. And we should aspire to be around people like that bring that out of us, because like I said, it's almost a responsibility of us as humans to be the best version of ourselves, surely. Like, you know, I have this huge opinion, and I'm sure this upset some people, like when people get into a relationship and they like get comfortable, as we all like to say, right? And they let themselves go in, like, you know, they don't make as much effort for like how they dress or like their physique or anything like that. Now, sometimes that can happen because your priorities can change, and, you know, you could be providing a better life, which is still progression and whatnot. But like, if a boy and a girl break up now, talking usually a bit around my age or a bit younger, like 20s, whatever, what's the first thing a girl does or a guy does when they break up with someone? They go straight to the gym, and they get them better shape, right, to attract a new person. They try and look their best to attract the person. Now, my view is, I've got the person that I'm in love with, right? So why would I not want to be the best version I can be of myself?
Yeah.
For the person that I'm in love with, not let myself go or let the effort go and then ramp it back up if I became single to attract someone new. That's not how it should be. You should want to be the best version of you for your partner. You should also want your partner to be the best version of themselves, and you should help them achieve that. And again, it's a thing I strongly think in society is wrong. And again, it sort of leads to like a lot of things lead to a lot of mental health issues now. I strongly believe that the rise of women has, in like modern society, has left men in a very unsure position. And I believe that's a lot of the reason men are struggling. I'll explain that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, sorry, I'm waffling a bit, but
no. You know me, I love a tangent and a waffle.
Yeah,
usually for breakfast.
50, 60 years ago, like, men were the strong providers, the money makers, you know, and the women were at home and they looked after children probably a bit longer than 50 years. But it wasn't that long ago that women couldn't vote and couldn't work because of contraception. But now women are like equally capable of earning as much money. They're equally like successful. They don't necessarily need a man to provide for them financially now. They can be quite financially independent, and do you know what? More power to them. Absolutely, they should be celebrated for being equally as like celebrated and strong and intelligent and capable of earning, you know, good money. I believe that this has left like some men with a lack of purpose. They're not sure where they fit in.
I get what you're saying.
They're now not needing to be the moneymaker or the provider, and, you know, they're losing this sense of purpose. And I believe that that's why a lot of men are struggling hugely, because what are they supposed to do now? Like, where is their role? Now, my belief is that as a man, you should still like be slightly more dominant within a relationship, because I believe that the woman should still feel safe by you and feel like if anything goes wrong, that you're the person they can turn.
Yeah, you're still the rock in the house.
Exactly. Like, and I, because let's be honest, women are attracted to competence. They're attracted to feeling safe by a guy. Like, that's my belief anyway. Like, that is, they want a competent partner, someone they can rely on, someone that's reliable. These honourable traits that men, I believe, should uphold. That's what my version of masculinity is.
It's a strange struggle, though, isn't it? Because it's like, if you're a man and you want to be the gentleman and things like that, and they get put down, like, for example, if I was walking to a door, I tend to open the door first and let my wife go through, because
100%.
Or you pick up the chair, and it's like, it's just mad, isn't it? Because sometimes you get called like a misogynist, you get called this, and it's like, well, hang on, no, it's manners. Good manners. How I was brought up.
Yeah, and I think that's lacking.
Like you said, it's a strange one, and at the minute, for the likes of yourself and myself, we're in a very strange time where we're white heterosexual males, and it's like, I don't know where I stand at the minute, because I could do something, and it was like, hang on, you're a racist. Like, no, I'm not. Oh, you're homophobe. No, not that either.
Yeah. No.
Misogynistic pig. Definitely not.
Yeah. It is a difficult situation. And I think, again, I still believe that this all comes down to insecurity. Like, and which, it's like, I'm a very confident and strong male character, but I'm very emotionally, like, aware and self-aware and emotionally intelligent. Like emotionally intelligent, which is basically the thing that means is that means I'm able to see and empathize with other people's emotions and feelings, not just my own, right? So that's what I believe emotional intelligence is, right? And I've had to learn that over years. It sort of started at the age of 30. I had to adapt who I was, and I had to break myself down. But now I'm in this position where I can empathize and see things from other people's point of view, which puts me in a very unique position, because it means that I can actually like look at situations and help people and see them from both sides. And this is why, like, this whole dynamic of like masculinity being attacked all the time, like being a modern male, like now, has adapted to how it would be 100 years ago. Like, it had to, because the times have adapted. And the same role is for women, because women are expected now to hold down a job, like be in good shape, look sexy, look after the kids, cook, clean, etc. They've got a massive amount of pressure on them as well. And I believe that like men and women have now got to work together as a team more than ever, because you've got to be secure and try and be a successful team. And that takes honesty, that takes communication, and that takes like work. A relationship takes work. Like, my best friend and my girlfriend the other day said, I don't know how to take this, but they said, you'd be quite happy if you were like on your own for the rest of your life. Like, and like I said, I didn't know how to take that, but like chatting to all my friends about like their relationships and dating and whatnot, that's because the work that it's taken for me and my partner to get to where we are now, the growth and the adaptation and the communication and like the things that we've been through, like, I don't think I'd want to go through that again, to be honest, because it is.
I agree. I agree, mate. I've been with Kate now. We'll be up to 14 years in September, and
congratulations to both of you. That's an impressive feat.
It is, because if I'm honest, I am not the easiest person to live with, to be with at all, especially not just through my struggles with my mental health. It's all the other stuff in the early stages of the relationship. I'm not going to lie to people on here. I was a fucking cunt. I was horrible. Yeah. If I met that person, I'd want to fucking knock the cunt out. But she stuck by me this whole time throughout whatever I did. because at the end of the day, she's my best mate. She's my wife, and then it's like you said, I wouldn't want to start from the beginning again. As exciting as most people think it is, the beginnings of a relationship. Hey, guess what? You can do that even now.
Yeah.
I literally sent her a text on Friday. I was in a meeting with Kent Police about stuff at work. It's coming to the end, and I went, Kate's off at the minute. Tell you what, fancy coming up to, there's a pub near where I work on the site, and I was like, fancy coming up, we'll have a date. Up she popped, and as soon as she went back, she picked up the kids, she sent me a text, she was like, I love that. I love it when we just have time for ourselves. I was like, see, just made her day there. You've got to work at these things. Like you said, it's give and take.
It's nice that you still want to do that. And like, you know, there are going to be times throughout a relationship when, you know, it's going to be hard. You might have times where you question whether it's worth it, or you question if, you know, you're with the right person, or could it be easier with someone else, or whatever. Yeah. You know, we all have these doubts and these thoughts, and you know, there's good times and there's bad times, but it takes communication.
Yeah.
Like me and Mrs. this year, like we've been through what I would say like 3 years that we've had previous to this. We were talking about like our future plans and whatnot, and I said that for this year we've got like a lot of weddings to go to, etc., and we're saving for like a house and whatnot. We live together, but we don't own.
Yeah.
I was like, this year I want us to enjoy being in a relationship together, just enjoy each other this year. I was like, we've had so many like ups, downs, good times, bad times. I was like, this year I just want us to enjoy it. We've had a tough year, let's enjoy it. So we've set like things within our calendar year. Like, so what we've done is we want to do every month, we'll go to a new restaurant we've never been to together as like a date night.
Good effort.
And we've both cook a new recipe each month, both of us, like for each other. Right. And another one is we've got to make a new cocktail every month. We have one cocktail each to make a month because we really enjoy making cocktails, right? Just those little things.
Little things, mate.
Like
I've always said especially to the missus, I was like, it's none of these big gestures. It's the little things that I enjoy, even the little things that she does. Like, she is one of the most annoying people I've ever come across. But I love the fact that she is annoying, because she gives me banter, I give her banter. Like, for example, she'll phone me up when I'm at work, and the way I answer the phone, which my mum would be in shock at this, by the way, I do the Harvey Price. So she phones me up, and I go, "Hello, you cunt." And she's immediately she starts laughing, and it's like, there we go, sweet. But it's a little thing. I made a complimation. Fucking words have gone funny. I've had a whiskey, and I made a video of all the scare cams that she's done, because she literally scares me daily.
Like, a compilation is what
that's the one. Tongue doesn't work. She won't like that. But yeah, like, I made that because she does all these scare cam videos, and then she'll send them to me when I got you a good one here, didn't I? But I thought, do you know what I'll do? It was like 5 minutes long. It was just constant me jumping. But it's that. I love that. I don't think I'd find that with another person.
It's like a little bit of effort. Like, honestly, I always say this, right? Because anyone, like I've said this earlier, anyone who meets me, I'm like quite a big guy, you know, like I've got half a decent beard now. I can look fairly intimidating, fairly masculine, right? And if you see me at home with my missus, right? One, I'm a self-professed, like, I'm very comfortable with my like emotions and my masculinity. So like I said to you, I like chick flicks, right?
Love a chick flick.
If me and my missus are at home, people could hear us. We talk like idiots. Like, we're so fucking cute together and like stupid. Like, we have stupid little like voices and stupid things that we do, like that, you know, it's individual to us, and it's because we can be ourselves. And you know, and that's the things that, like, you can never replace it, you know, and I wouldn't want to ever find again, because, you know, they're individual to us. That's, you know, why we work and why our relationship has gone through those hard times, because those are the things, like you said, like a little bit of effort, like, you know, we all like feeling loved, right? We all like feeling it, you know, important, or, you know, like, by our partner. We, you know, a woman wants to feel like they're the only one and they're special, and men should make their partners feel like they're special. You should be proud to be with your partner and show them that. And it's no different for a guy. A guy wants to feel like he's, you know, important and loved and desired and all those things. And it's not big things. You don't need a big gesture. It's like, it's the little things. Like when we went through like a rough patch, like last year, when I wasn't like the best version of myself, like, one of the things is just, like, I miss, like, when you used to do something, like, if I said I had a bad day, what I'd do is I'd go and buy like a little can of like porn star martini, or I'd make a cocktail, put a bar of chocolate and stuff, and like a little note if I'd gone to the gym or whatever. So when she got home, she'd have like this nice tiny little gesture, like a bar of chocolate and a cocktail waiting for her, because I knew she had a tough day. Like, it's those tiny little things that can make someone feel loved and wanted, and that tiny little bit of thought and effort goes a long way, like male or female.
Yeah, I do. I buy her candles, mate. She's got a thing about candles. So if I'm doing the food,
I love a mandel.
If I'm doing the food shop instead of doing it online, because sometimes I got to do it online because fucking time and work and bollocks.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing it there, I'll go there and I go, ooh, a little candle show yet.
Yeah.
But I also know the fucking smell she doesn't like, the smell she does like, etc., etc. But yeah, it's the little things, mate. My missus is one of those chicks that likes being tickled. When I say tickled, is in like nice tickles.
Mate, me and your missus sound like we're so similar.
Yeah, mate. No word of a lie. I fucking hate it. Like I wind her up in bed. She'll go, "Oh, do you mind if can I lay on your chest and you tickle my hair?" I'm like, "Why can't I lay on your chest and you give me a tickle?" And then she'll go, "Because you don't like being touched." I went, "Yeah, good point."
Yeah. But no, then, I'm the same. I
said it to her the other week. Sorry for butting in. We were in bed, and I think I was ill or she was feeling ill. I can't remember, but that didn't happen. The whole "can I lie on your chest and you give me tickles?" Oh, that was it. She ended up sleeping downstairs because I wasn't feeling great. So she was like, "I don't want to get it. I'll sleep downstairs." Blah blah. And like the next day, I went, I fucking missed it. I went, I know I moan every time you ask me to do something like that. I always do it. But if she goes out with her mates for the night out, or she's downstairs because I'm feeling ill and she's not there, I'm like, it's like I need it to be able to like relax. I need to relax as well, and it's like it's madness because I hate doing it. It winds me up.
That's a great thing, though. It's
wound me up for 14 years, but I would never change it.
Yeah, I have my back tickled, right? But when I go to bed at night, like, because
I can bear you.
I know I am a soppy shit, mate. self. The thing is, like, so when I was a baby, what my mum used to do if I was like upset or wouldn't go to sleep, she would literally put me on her legs and then just tickle my back, right? So ever since I was a kid, like,
that's the go-to.
Any girl that's been with me was like fucked from the start, really, because that is the one thing where I'm really selfish. Like, I love having my back tickled, really, or like my legs tickled, really slow, nice. Sounds like you missed, like, but I will not do it back. I get so bored so quickly. So that's my guilty thing that I like to do. But I do think it's healthy to have like a little bit of, like you said, when she was away or out with her friends, whatever, like, we try and do something where one of us is away like once a month, whatever, with our friends, going, you know, stay away, whatever, because it's so nice to, sometimes you forget what it's like to miss each other occasionally.
Mate, genuinely, I do. I've always said it to her. Like, if she stays over around her mates, or if I'm, for example, when I go off, if I had to stay in a hotel or whatever, I sleep like shit because I'm like, I'm missing my person that should be next to me while I'm asleep. And the one thing I have picked up on, because animals do this, so my cat, like, if my missus isn't in the bed for whatever reason, she's out with her mates, she will literally come and lie next to me. I'm like, oh, you never do this when normally.
Yeah.
You are my fur baby, after all.
Yeah.
People are listening to this now going, you soppy cunts.
Who are these big, strong, strapping men they say that they are, hey?
Exactly.
Mate,
I'm all for like you said, I'm all for being in touch with my fucking emotions, mate. I mentioned it on my last podcast, I think a couple of podcasts. That's one of the reasons why I stopped taking the antidepressants, because I couldn't feel anymore. I was numb. Exactly. I was like, I need to feel. Even if I am angry, even if I am sad, I need to feel this shit.
That is exactly it. Like, and this is the thing that I want to help people with. Like we said, like, I think we should be taught about our emotions, because we should feel these emotions. We should know how to recognize them. And like I've said before, this is one of the things that I had in my head for a long time, that I recognized in myself, that Ant Middleton worded it better for me, because he was the same. Like, he just put it in a sentence that made so much sense. It's like, we're talking about fear. And I always really liked fear, and I always do. It's one of my favorite emotions, because anything that scares me, like any of my fitness challenges that scared me because of like the thought of failure, or, you know, mountaineering, you know, like it's just scary heights and whatnot. That to me, and how he worded it, is like, fear presents an opportunity to challenge yourself, which in turn presents an opportunity to grow. Now, growth for me is the goal of like every year, to be a better version of myself. So I see fear as an opportunity to challenge myself, then grow to be a better person. It's like, right now I have a little bit of fear towards the sea, right? I love the sea. I love being by the beach coast, but I'm a little bit fearful of the sea because I don't like what I can't see beneath me, right?
Yeah, so I get that. Yeah.
How do I combat that? I was like,
you're going scuba diving, aren't you?
I either want to learn to surf, or I want to learn to spearfish. So actually this year I'm going to learn to spearfish, because in my head, if I'm scared of what's beneath me, then if I spend more time beneath the water and able to see what's around me,
yeah, makes sense.
I'll be able to overcome that. And like, you know, that's a challenge, and that's something that's going to make me a stronger, more resilient version of myself. And I think it's cool as fuck, because I'll be able to catch my own fish, cook it on a barbecue on the beach.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a roof tent for I've just got a Land Rover Discovery. So we're going to get a roof tent so that we can camp down on the coast, because Jodie's got a paddleboard, so she can paddleboard, I can spear, and then we can spend more time down.
Fucking epic.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. It's like,
I love a barbecue, but I get to the point where it's like, is it okay for me to have the 7th burger of the day? When would I normally eat 7 burgers? Never. But today, I'm eating them all.
Chicken wings can I eat? Oh.
Fucking love a chicken wing, mate. Fucking chicken.
But that's what I mean. A lot of people don't see, like, will see fear and like back away from it because they're scared, you know. And that's the difference with people. And I think that's why we need to recognize what it is and see it as maybe an opportunity to change something. Be aware of something that scares you and be like, okay, what is this something that's going to hold me back in life? If it is, like, is there anything I can do to change it?
Yeah.
It's like with goal setting, like a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of people have failed some of their like
resolutions already, mate.
Like,
they have.
I don't usually.
I sent you the video, didn't I? Me the other day after I did a fight. It was only fucking 5 miles. Fucking legs. My legs killed for like 3 days, and I had uber chafage. I was like, oh, Why have I put myself through this? Because I hate it. That's why I did it. And
well,
the funny thing is, mate, you'll laugh at this. So it's only 5 miles. I got to about 2.5 miles, and my missus sent me a text saying, how's the run going? And I was like, I'm fucking hanging out. I don't want to do it anymore. And she was like, do you want me to pick you up? And in my head, I was like, fuck, yes, I do want you to pick me up. But that moment in time, I had my headphones on and I was listening to David Goggins fucking chatting. And I was like, I can't give up while I'm listening to Goggins. Absolutely not.
It is a fundamental rule. You cannot give up when you're listening to David Goggins.
So I was like, I'm I wanted to text back, but who's going to carry the boats? But she wouldn't have got that.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck this.
Carry the boats.
I'm just going to keep going. And I did. I'm glad I did it. Don't get me wrong. My legs weren't at the end. They were like, you fucking cunt. But yeah, because last few months of like October, November, December, I was shit, mate. I was very rarely in the gym. Whether it be a one-off session, blah, blah. And I was like, and I looked at myself and I was like, you're getting really fat. Like, I even to the point where I bought a t-shirt and I had to get an extra, no, not an extra large, fucking hell, Tommo. I had to get an extra large. And I was like, I've never been an extra large. I've always been a medium or a large. I went, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And
well,
but yeah, so I decided I've got to do something. Last week, I trained 4 times last week. This week, I'm going to do probably the same. But you got to do it small steps. If you go too crazy too early.
Well, the thing is what you need to do is actually, rather than look at like the finished goal, right? So I don't know, say someone wants to lose like 3 stone or 4 stone, whatever. I believe that the way to actually be successful with goal setting is actually more to do with planning what you're going to do, which is going to accomplish or help towards that goal. So rather than saying, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 6 weeks or whatever, instead of saying it like that, you need to go, okay, this week I'm going to try and lose 3 pounds I'm going to go to the gym 3 times. And you write that down or whatever, because it's a smaller step and it's more like, it's more manageable, and you can look at it and be like, okay, so if I do these things, hopefully it'll equate to a bit of progress towards my overall goal, like, which in a month, like, because it is the small accumulations of things that add up to like success in anything. It's like when I did the stupid thing where I climbed stone with 50 kg, right?
Yeah, you did.
So I know, just for shits and giggles. Like, the only reason I could do that, and the only reason I could do that with like relative ease, is because of accumulation of 10 years worth of weight training, you know, some pretty savage training up to it, which one of my training days was so much harder than the actual day that I did climbing Snowdon. Like, but it's those small things that have added up, those 10 years worth of training, battering my legs and like, you know, cycling to Land's End and back and going up other hills with weight on my back. That meant that I was able to accomplish that relatively easily. And it's the same with your goals. Like, I don't usually do dry January, but I was like, oh, I'm not going to drink this month. I failed miserably because I went to watch Bristol. I got given some free tickets to go and watch Bristol versus Stade Francais. And so I took my mate, and then I bumped into an ex-player who used to be a really good friend of mine, Will Hurl, who unfortunately had to retire because he got tackled and had a stroke, which was a really sad story. But he was out, so ended up in a few beers. So my dry January did not last very long at all. But I don't, like I said, I don't really set massive big goals because I tried to last year. Do you know what? I didn't really do any of them. Whereas this year, it's more my overall goal is to be the best version of myself. And what can I do to do that? Each week, I'm looking at how I can be a better version of myself, or what can I do that week? So like, you know, can I work more hours to earn more money? Can I like go to the gym 3, 4, 5 times, whatever? Always looking like in a smaller, digestible like plans, because it makes it so much easier to accomplish something.
Yeah, I get that. I get it. How's the fight training? Have you stopped? Or are you still going?
I'm actually training tomorrow. I haven't done MMA for a while because last year I suffered a horrific injury playing rugby sevens. I fractured my sternum, which is like this part here, which connects rib cage. So I couldn't train or like do any physical contact for like 8 to 10 weeks, and like I'm going back to rugby and MMA within tomorrow. I'm good to MMA, and then next week I'm going back to rugby. But actually, the guy that I was using for MMA lost his studio anyway, so he's just found a new space. So
fair play.
I love MMA, mate. It
is hard.
Yeah, well,
that's the way I can describe it. It's hard.
I like being a beginner at things as well. I like being humbled by the fact that someone that's like 5'4" can wrap me up like a pretzel.
Yeah.
Mate,
I had like, the few. I when I was serving, I did a bit of mixed martial arts towards the end of my service, and then when I came out, I dabbled a little bit, and then I was more boxing based, which we'll get to, and then a few months. Well, before it was actually before the pandemic. My a trainer that I used to do a boot camp with. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and I must have at least 40 kilos on him, at least. But it felt like the weight difference was the other way around. The way he was pinning me down and holding me down, and his technique and everything, I was like, usually I could just like probably lift you up and fucking get you off me and use my strength as an advantage. But with this guy, he choked me out fucking. Like 6 seconds.
I like being like I'm a full-time lesson. Like
it's mad, isn't it? Because if you think about it,
full-time student. Sorry.
In jiu-jitsu itself, like you get put in a chokehold. In real life, you're dead.
Yeah.
he's just killed you. You're dead.
This is like going back to the society thing and the quote that we spoke about with, strong men create easy times create weak men and create hard times create strong men, right? Not many people, or like it's more of a minority of people that choose to put themselves in adversity or choose to put themselves in an uncomfortable position. Like I said earlier, to me, like fear, not many people, when I say not many, I say like it's more of a minority as opposed to the general public. Like most people would choose to back away from fear rather than see it as an opportunity to grow. This is the same with adversity. Like how many people choose to do something that's hard, because it is the hard things that make, a better version or like a stronger version. It's like heartbreak. Most people have gone through heartbreak that are like our age. Everyone needs to experience it to know, like, because heartbreak's one of the worst feelings, especially at a young age, that you've ever experienced. But you need to go through like hard times to see that you can actually recover from that. It's the same as like boxing. Like once you realize you can get hit and you're not made of glass.
I always like the quote from Fight Club. And he says, why don't you hit me? And he goes, why would I want to do that? He went, I don't know. I've never been in a fight. How do you know anything about yourself if you've not been in a fight?
Yeah, that's it. And it's the same as, that's why I choose to put myself in those horrible positions of climbing up Penny Fan with 32 kilograms on my back in the blistering rain and like wind, like doing a fan dance with double the weight that Special Forces did. That was me wanting to challenge that, mate, it was savage. Worst thing is,
he's super Special Forces of anything. Super Army Soldier, they'll call him, SAS.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the call from Ant now.
He's like, do you want to do SAS Who Dares Wins? He went, only if it means Super Army Soldiers, then I'll do it.
But like, not like adversity is it's what makes us stronger. Like,
yeah, definitely.
You know, but by nature, because I always look at it very interested, like in this way, because I think about things quite deeply. Like, for example, I had a pretty, like, in reflection, I had a pretty hard, like, childhood. My stepdad was pretty abusive. He had an affair, left, and then my real dad had left when I was a very young age and never really evolved, right? All these things, like, and there was a few other things that happened that I won't, like, go into, but
that's fine.
Upon reflection now, I'm like, well, actually my childhood wasn't that, like, great. Like, you know, it was pretty rough in some ways, but those things, like what my stepdad did to me and whatnot, I'm actually very grateful for those things, because they are the things that have put me to who I am today, who I'm very happy with who I am, and they show me what I didn't want to be, right? So those adversities I'm actually grateful for. However, by natural, like, instinct, when I have children, which I look forward to when I do, I'm not gonna do what my stepdad did to me. Like, categorically, I want to build a better life for them, right? However, like, I think that is slightly counterintuitive, because you're actually making them weaker by protecting them from everything. Like, and I think a lot of children are bubble wrapped by their parents, which is a problem in society. It's like, now, if a kid's bullied at school, like, the parents will go and attack the teacher or attack the parents of the kid or whatever.
Yeah.
Every kid needs to be experienced a bit of, like, not like, but I think bullying's horrible, but like, they need to experience.
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Experience the social aspects of the fact that not everyone's nice, not everyone's going to like them, like, you know, and kids can be cruel and they will say hurtful things, but
kids can be the worst. Girl kids,
like, the kids need to be exposed to that, because the way I look at it is, how many really successful people will say, like, I don't know, like Jeff Bezos, I don't know if he's got any kids, so I don't know, I don't know, but let's say, how many really successful people, how many of their siblings have overtaken them in success, right? And why is that, right? Now, because if you look at someone that's, like, standout successful, like, let's take someone that's come from, like, a bad background, so, like, Kevin Hart, right?
Yeah.
Was brought up in I think it was like a family of 7. They had, like, a really horrible little apartment, were basically in poverty or whatever. Now he is a multi-millionaire, like, superstar, right? Guarantee you his kids are not going to be more successful than he is. And why is that? It's because he went through that adversity of being in like, poverty and experiencing the hood and, like, I think, you know, the racism.
Another example of that is, I know he's very controversial himself and not a lot of people like him, but Conor McGregor is another one. He even stated that he wants his kids to, like, have the life of luxury. Like, his kids are going to have fucking millions.
We all want that out of, like, instinct. We don't want them to be exposed to that, but I think to create a good human, which I think is the role of a parent, is to create the best human that you can, like, and set them up for the life in front of them. That doesn't mean hand them everything. What I mean by that is set them up for the things that are going to do them well in life. So I firmly believe that, like, when I have kids, I want them to do some form of martial art or boxing, because I believe the fundamental, like, morals and structure of martial arts are representative of life. Like, they teach you respect for your, like, you know, your master or your coach. They teach you about, like, work ethic.
teach you stamina. They teach you to be humble in defeat. They teach you that someone is always going to be better than you. They're going to teach you that losing is okay, and you learn from those, and that hard work is going to get you better. And it's about honor and respect. And like they tidy up the dojo or the mats, and they are life lessons, and it gives you confidence. And those things I think are fundamental to what kids should be learning to be good humans. Like that's the sort of adversity that I think they should be put into, like, because that's a product, like, or a sport, like, a team sport, all these things can have great effects on children, because I don't want to expose my kids to I'm never going to like physically beat them up or harm them like I was, but that adversity made me into who I am. I'm proud of that. So how can I replicate that in a healthy way to bring the best out of my children? And I believe personally that that's going to be like martial arts or boxing, something like that, some discipline, some honor, some respect, because adversity is a bit like, that's like, again, another cliche quote about diamonds are created under pressure. Adversity makes us stronger. A heartbreak like makes you realize that you can be hurt and you can recover. All these things
definitely
that create better versions of humans, like, and that is what I think the role of a parent is. I welcome the opportunity. Like I look forward
I agree, mate. I agree. I did attempt to get my eldest into taekwondo. The unfortunate thing was fucking the clubs in Kent were asking for proper wedge, and I was like, well, I'm not paying, I ain't paying that. I was like, certain things I can teach you myself. I'm not a great fucking boxing coach, but I know how to throw a punch properly. But I also know, like I said, my friend, he's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He said he's going to take the girls and do some sessions so that they know certain things. I've taught my eldest and my youngest a very, very good rear naked choke. Like I've got video evidence of her getting my father-in-law, her granddad, in a rear naked choke, and you could see the panic on his face because she has got a grip like a fucking chimp. But I've always taught him. I was like, if someone I went, don't go actively looking for a fight. Don't be like I was when I was out on the piss, because that's how I used to be, because I was a dickhead. I went, but if someone picks a fight with you, I went, you fucking finish the fight. Don't show me a week. And then I've said some things that usually when I've had a few drinks, it's like, if any boys try anything with you, and even at school, and you put them in that rear naked choke if you can, and I went, don't let go.
Yeah,
they'll go to sleep.
It's an interesting thing. Like by nature, I'm very protective.
Yes, yeah, I am. Like,
and I ran a door company and worked security for quite a few years. But you know what? I wasn't aggressive. I didn't need to be.
That's a thing with you large males.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is,
I'm not stereotyping you all, but you don't really need to. Like, if I was on a night out, I wouldn't go. I would go. Well, that big fucker probably won't go with him.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I'm the least aggressive. Like, to be honest, like I said, I actually had to learn from my guys that I worked with, the MMA fighters. So basically, because we've already covered it slightly, where my stepdad was like physically abusive to me, what I used to do is I would let my aggression out by going to heavy metal concerts, going in the mosh pit, and like going mental. Like that was my outlet.
Yeah, I get that.
Right. But during that time, I was like, obviously when I was like 14, I was a lot smaller, but I caused like quite a lot of damage, right? I hurt like quite a few people. Obviously then as I got older, and then when I I didn't really have that many fights, but any fight I got in, like if I lost sort of like my temper,
I usually cause damage, right? In not a nice way. And as I went to bodybuilding and got bigger, and through a very physical day job, I then became very scared of like my capabilities, of like what I was actually capable of. So I was actually scared to hit people. So I always had this like fear. And actually, the guys that I worked with had to take me boxing and MMA, like with them, to teach me how to hit someone softly. It's ironic.
Yeah,
as that
I know what you mean. Because there's ways of throwing a punch.
Exactly. Like
then going, right, I'm gonna haymaker the shit out of this one.
Exactly. Like the guy that gave me the door company, one of my best mates, is a 22 stone trained MMA gorilla, right? Probably one of the only guys that I would never want to take a punch from, right? Ever. Yeah. He said to me, like, when we were training first, he said, like, you've got a left hand that will like put anyone into tomorrow. He said, like, you got that farmer strength, like, because I'm not very gym, because you got that farmer strength that will do some damage. So, but the thing is, that meant that like on the door or in any situation, I know that I can handle myself. Like, I've never sort of come off worse, but I'm also humble enough to realize that the guy that's 5'2" could hit me on the chin in the right place and knock me the fuck out, right? So I was always trying to calm people down, be polite, and respectful and empathetic to the situation. But I had that confidence of the fact I know if shit went sideways, I know that I'm usually going to be okay, right?
Yeah.
And that confidence is like infectious, and people can sense it, and that's why people wouldn't give me any trouble. Like, because a lot of like smaller guys, everyone takes the piss out of them because they're like, oh, you got small man syndrome because they're like aggressive or whatever.
Yeah, I used to get
that's usually like an insecurity thing, because they're smaller guys, so they want to prove themselves. Like,
that was me, mate, in a nutshell. Genuinely.
Yeah, well, they would look at a guy like me and they're like, some people would see me as a challenge, like, oh, he's big, I actually never had that, but like people that I know that are bigger have had guys that have. I did have one guy that, a really funny story, but I won't go into it. But like, it's they can see that as a challenge, but with me they didn't, because I don't want to fight anyone. Got no interest in it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like fighting because it's not productive. I like it competitively. I love watching UFC and I love MMA. Like, I enjoy that, but actually, like street fighting, I hate it. It's like, there's no point in it. But that confidence and that knowledge that I can look after myself and protect like the people around me, that's why I didn't get trouble, because people sense that. And I think that's a big part of being a male, personally. Yeah. Like, for me, just in my character,
it was a hard one for me, because I was small, and I was bullied at school for being small, and I had big features, as in my ears, my teeth. I looked like a fucking mouse. When I got to my when I started going out and I could drink, and I'd been going to the gym, so I put on a bit of size. I always said to the missus, I was a dickhead even when I met her when I was 21, I believe. Even
Let's
then,
be honest, we were all dickheads at 21.
Oh, I was a huge dickhead. If I wasn't trying to fuck something, I was trying to fight something.
I was just doing the first one.
Yeah. So as most people did, but I thought, well, if I'm not gonna have that sort of adrenaline rush, I'm gonna go and fight something. And you could call it short man syndrome, small man syndrome, whatever. But I really didn't give a fuck on what size anyone was. I was like, now I'm different. I'm mature. I'm mature now. In terms of going out, like I know my capabilities. If I was in a fight, I was like, I know that I could probably hurt a lot of people. But then I was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna go wailing in. if I need to. I remember once being out with my brother and he got pinged by a bloke at a bar. This bloke, I don't even know why. There was just a stupid argument, I think, over his missus. This bloke fucking pinged him. I saw my brother drop, and this guy went down to fucking start ground and pound. I was like, well, fuck this. Flying knee from about fucking 25 meters away. Just caught him right in the chin. Oh, good times. Don't advocate fighting in streets or in bars, but fucking hell, my knee, mate. I didn't catch him quite right with the knee. I did on his chin, but my knee for like the next
it hurts. Give it a good punch. It hurts. People don't realise it hurts to give a solid big punch. I'll tell you about my 24th birthday off air at some point. That's a fun.
Yeah, I've got a few in my book that I've spoke about. But yeah, it's not big, it's not clever. It's like a dyslexic.
No, it's not. It's not.
I can say that I am one, both. But yeah, before we finish up, we're gonna have to talk about it and talk about him, Mr. J. Paul. I have to bring him up.
I knew this.
Nah. I've been thinking about it, to be fair, and don't get me wrong, right? Because he does have skills. I'm not saying he's not a good boxer. The problem that I have, and you did bring up some good points about other boxers that haven't really fought big names or things like that, blah blah blah. But he hasn't actually fought a boxer yet. That's the annoying thing in that whole.
I do see your point. So let's share this out for other people. Like with Jake Paul, I commend some of the things that he's achieved in the way that he has brought huge amount of attention to the sport of boxing.
I agree with that.
I know you did. And
no, I do. Genuinely, Jake, I do agree with that.
Bringing more money to the undercards, and like I said, what he's done for the actual attention towards a sport that I think is hugely underrated, hugely underappreciated.
Yeah, I think he gets a lot of shit for who he is.
But the thing is let's be honest,
more than what he's done in terms of generating revenue and whatnot.
He was a Disney kid, right?
Yeah,
a Disney kid. Then he's a YouTuber, and let's be honest, he's materialistic. He's got a very flamboyant, extroverted,
and he annoys people.
Yeah, he does, but he does it on purpose as well. He winds people up and he pushes buttons. But I'll tell you what, he's entertaining in that way. Now, would him and I get on? Probably like not. With the person he presents himself to be? Probably not. He's not my cup of tea.
That's the thing, isn't it? That's the whole thing. Is it the person? Because it's a bit like we'll use
a bit like social media,
like Kobe Covington.
Exactly. I don't like him because I don't like the person he presents who he is. But he's an incredible fighter.
But by all accounts, that is literally just a persona that he's put. Apparently, behind all that, he's a fucking nice bloke. Oh, it's so annoying, isn't it?
They were actually going to get rid of him because he wasn't bringing in fights, money.
Yeah, so, I agree with those points.
It's a persona, like, and don't get me wrong, people are going to be jealous of him anyway because he's got millions, right? But I also believe that he's done it in a very intelligent way. Like, of course, he's not going to fight a boxer straight out of the box. He hasn't been boxing that long, right? So he is handpicking his clients or like his fights. But who in their right mind? Well, that's a subject a lot of people think it might be clients actually, but we won't go into that because I don't. That's too much. I think there's too much to even like go into, like whether it is or whether it's not. Boxing's always good with that because of fucking Sugar Ray Lennox, wasn't it? Anyway, like, of course, he's in a position that he is bringing money to the sport. He is bringing views, and he's like creating this scene and this like persona that brings in money, like brings attention, winds people up. It's selling.
And you're
Is he
either
going to have?
Yeah, you're either
And
going to
it-
be in his camp or against his camp. Either way, you want to
Well,
watch
I'm
him
not.
either win or lose.
I don't care if he wins or loses, right? I really don't. Like, I commend what he's doing, but I don't care if he wins or loses. I'm not like a massive fan. I just think,
you're a fanboy.
yeah, I think people get too emotionally involved with it because they don't like the fact that he's picking his opponents. Very smart. I mean, the Fury fight would have been a great fight. That would have been,
yeah,
you know, that I think would have changed things a little bit, right? I think that would have been a great fight, and I think maybe he, you know, that could have changed things slightly for him. And I'm gutted that didn't happen. I'm sure it will happen in the future. But I hate that everyone's like, oh, he's not fighting a boxer or whatever. He's being smart. He's building his confidence up. He will fight a boxer.
you better.
I know he will in time. But people
fighting
expect
Garcia
him.
anyway. Isn't he? Is it Garcia? No. Oh, he's fighting anyway. He's fighting a Mexican boxer, apparently, former world champ.
I don't know. Like
But yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. Like I said, like we have had on Instagram, which I do laugh at, and I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah, I do. I piss my. We send each other stuff just to wind each other up.
Oh, I think so. And those of you that know me, and those of you that probably know Leigh, I enjoy being wound up. So it's
100%.
I like going on fucking Instagram reels and seeing people do annoying things, and I'm like, fucking God, you're annoying. Like, there's a family with a dad and his two sons, and they dance, and it fucking pisses me off a lot. And it pisses me off that much that I have to send it to like my brother, because I know it's going to annoy him just as much as me. So I'm like, well, if I'm annoyed, you're annoyed, and that now makes me happy. But with Jake, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm in the camp. I'm in the camp. Fucking fight a boxer, but I'm also like, hang on, I know what you're doing, and good for you, because make that fucking money.
Make the money, build your confidence up, build your skills up. Like,
I'd fight him.
A lot of people like have said that the last fight was obviously fixed or whatnot. I don't know. Like,
I could see it from many different angles. Like,
yeah, we all could. We'll never know. We will never know. But you know, everyone's like, "Oh, he dropped his arm." Let's be honest. He's not. He wasn't. Tyron's not a fucking boxer either. Like,
no, he's not.
Dropped his guard, and I tell you what that does prove is Jake has knockout power, because that was a hell of a fucking punch.
I said that to so many people. I had so many people arguing with me about it. And I was like, I'm not taking anything away from the fucking punch that he threw. I went, he knocked him into next week. That punch was incredible. I went, there's little bits at the beginning where this is me being your professional boxing coach now. Certain things that he did, he was blocking perfectly with his left hand, and then all of a sudden he drops it for like what seemed like no reason. But then people are like, well, he feints to the body. I'm like, well, he's not really fainting to the body, and even if he was previously, he stepped back. There's little things like that, but I was like, I'm not taking anything away from that fucking punch. I went, Jesus.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's why I love it, because everyone wants him to fail so badly because they get so emotionally invested in it. That's what I find entertaining, and that's why I love it, because I like it when he wins and people get upset about it, because I'm like, I don't give a fuck if he wins or loses. Like, I know what he's doing. I hope he does do well. I hope he rises to the top because of what he's achieving for other people at the same time. He's creating better money, better situations for the undercards and the promotions that he's doing. That, in my opinion, is admirable. So in that sense, I want him to keep going up, right? And do you know what? If he's handpicking his opponents so that he's more likely to win, and he's like, each time they are getting harder, right? And it will get to a boxing
don't get me wrong, they are getting harder.
He said he didn't, like, and you know, but who wouldn't? Like,
yeah, but like you said
in the position it's in,
like you said to me, all boxers start somewhere, and a lot of them have got a lot of hand-picked first.
The difference is
fights.
he is on a scale where he is on a fucking show from the start. This isn't like he's been boxing for 10 years and he's building up all his boxing experience. He's been boxing like a few years. He's obviously got a little bit of natural talent, but he's such a polarizing character because he's this YouTube star that any fight that he does is on a massive scale and everyone's going to watch it. So like, it's very different. It's not like he's been able to fight boxers in the background. Any fight is going to be publicized. These are his first 4 professional fights.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I saw a funny thing with
and they're
him.
not exactly.
I saw a funny thing with him and his brother on a podcast, and he's like, how do you feel, Logan? I'm now like ahead of you in like everything. And he was saying, well, you're not ahead of me in boxing. He's like, what are you on about? I'm 4-0 or whatever it is. He went, yeah, but I fought Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
He was like, fuck. But I did have a laugh on the subject of the Paul brothers. Fucking Logan Paul buying those Pokemon cards. Have you seen that?
Oh, they tickle me. They do tickle me. They are entertaining. I'll give them that.
Well, apparently he's bought these rare Pokemon cards for 3.5 million or whatever, and they were fake. I don't know how real that is, though. That's probably social media stuff.
I know that there was a video coming out about that from Logan, but who knows?
Who knows? Well,
Mate,
Leigh, I'm not going to take up any more of your time, my man. I think we've been having a good old chat.
Mate, it's been lovely. It's been
we
really
probably
nice
could have carried on, but I literally have got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, so, my missus has just texted me saying I wanted to be in bed by 10. So, mate, always a pleasure to chat, and thank you for the invite. And I'm sure we'll do it again in the future.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on. I'll catch you in a bit.
Love you lots. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Yeah, bye.